Is the Lone Pine Sanctuary in Brisbane worth visiting? Well, today I'm going to help you make that decision by answering the main questions and giving you an idea for what you're in for. The address is on Jesmond Road or at the end of Fig Tree Pocket Road, which takes about 20 to 30 minutes to drive and easy access from Brisbane City. There are a few different car parks, all free of charge, but expecting this can get pretty full in busy times, so take that into account when visiting on weekends or school holidays. While I find it easier to drive, there are also several public transport options. Miramar Cruises leaves from the Cultural Pontoon at Southbank at 9 a.m. every morning, and after a 1 hour and 15-minute cruise down the Brisbane River, you get dropped off within walking distance of the park. Then they leave again at 1:30 p.m. to take you back to the city. Additionally, you have the bus number 430 leaving from Queen Street Station or bus 445 leaving from Adelaide Street Station at regular intervals if you plan on spending a longer time at the park. There's also a dedicated bus shelter at Lone Pine for when you want to go back into the city. As for food and drinks, you have a small cafe outside the park serving coffee and a few snacks, plus lots of places to sit before you go in or while you're waiting for friends to arrive. You have another cafe inside the park, but I felt the variety and food options were a little lacking, so please bring your own if you have any special dietary requirements or concerns. The park is open daily, welcoming visitors from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I felt the ticket prices are comparable to other parks in southeast Queensland. Therefore, if you're visiting Brisbane and just want to see some Australian animals or hold a koala, then this would be your cheapest and closest option. Plus, they also have annual passes for those who want to visit as many times as you want. Surprisingly, it's a fairly big park, and my biggest tip would be to plan your day before you get there around the special shows and exhibits. It was founded in 1927 and recognised by the Guinness Book of Records as the world's first and largest koala sanctuary. With nearly a century of history, Lone Pine has evolved from a humble refuge for just 2 koalas to an expansive sanctuary hosting 130 of these gorgeous marsupials. It's also played a pivotal role in koala conservation efforts, research, and public awareness. So what are my pros and cons for visiting? Well, starting with the pros, it's cheaper than other major attractions like Australia Zoo. A convenient location near Brisbane City. Home to a wild variety of animals and not just the koalas. Includes unique experience like the birds of prey demonstration, sheepdog performances, dingo talks, and wild lorikeet feeding. And the sanctuary is designed to cater for all ages, making it an enjoyable day out for the families. Now for the cons. It can get quite busy, especially during weekends and school holidays, which may affect your overall experience. The vast size of the park can be overwhelming for first-time visitors, especially for those with limited time or showing young children around. Some activities cost more, such as the koala photos, nocturnal or platinum tours. While they do say you can visit in the rain, I find some of the enclosures will be less enjoyable in poor weather conditions. But they do have some areas sheltered from the rain. Food options within the sanctuary may be limited, which could be a drawback for some visitors. Now, I really enjoyed the sheepdog show and the free flight bird show, which are the crowd favourites, of course. The sheepdog show provides an impressive display of intelligence and agility of these working dogs as they herd sheep under the guidance of their skilled handlers. Meanwhile, the free flight bird show is a spectacular exhibition of the natural behaviours of Australia's native birds, showcasing their beauty and grace as they soar through the sky. Apart from that, there is also a really huge kangaroo enclosure where you can feed and get close to kangaroos. However, I would recommend doing this early in the morning so they're actually hungry and still easy to get a photo with. and you have plenty of open plan koala enclosures to see them up close too. This means not behind glass either. However, koalas aren't the most active creatures, and most of the time just sitting in the fork of the trees sleeping. But on occasions you can see them moving around, eating, or even better when you find some with cute little babies. You can even get a sneak peek into the wildlife hospital. So the kind of animals you can see are obviously the koalas, kangaroos and wallabies, crocodiles lazing in the sun, platypus. The Tasmanian devils were fun to watch when being fed. The dingoes are a bit quiet, but if you get them at the right time, you can hear them howling like a wolf. The various birds of prey. The cockatoos can be entertaining, and you can try talking to it. Lorikeets are beautiful birds too, and common in this area of Australia. I even saw a cassowary. So for a first-time visitor, I think you need the whole day to see it, but it is possible to quickly run around in half a day. Apart from that, if you have something very specific you want to see and don't intend on walking around the whole park, it could be done in a couple of hours. Although I wouldn't think the entry price would be worth it until you're spending half a day. To make the most of your visit to the Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary, consider these tips. Arrive early to feed the kangaroos in the morning when they're most likely to be hungry, less crowds, and also not the hottest part of the day. Buying tickets online in advance, you can save time with long queues, especially if you're visiting on school holidays. Check the scheduled times and shows and interactive sessions on the Sanctuary's website before you go. And planning your day around these activities will ensure you don't miss any of the exciting demonstrations and feeding times. Definitely some comfortable walking shoes and weather-appropriate clothing are essential, especially if you're planning for the whole day. Don't forget a hat and sunscreen, especially during those warmer months. Consider bringing a camera with a good zoom lens to capture animals that might be further away. And while there are food and drink outlets on site, carrying a refillable water bottle and some snacks will help. Lastly, always follow the Sanctuary's rules regarding animal interactions. Be gentle and calm during the encounters and never feed the animals unless explicitly instructed by the staff. In comparison, Australia Zoo is a lot bigger than the Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary, offering a massive space and a variety of animal exhibits from all around the world. However, the Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary focuses on showcasing the unique and iconic wildlife of Australia, making it sufficient for those who primarily want to see Australian gems and highlights. I'll be releasing a video soon on Australia Zoo, so stay tuned for that, but my choice between them would be based on what animals you want to see, the personal encounters you want, and which one is closer to get to. Or ultimately, it comes down to what you can afford. In the meantime, if you're looking for other things to do in Brisbane, please click to check out my other video here. Otherwise, thanks a bunch for watching today's edition, and I will see you for the next one.